The topic of this video is going to be about war. War. The topic of this video is going to be about war. The topic of this video is going to be about war. Damn, I'm in this environment. Look at it. There's a tree. I don't know where to place myself. I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually having difficulties figuring out where to place myself. Maybe I should keep moving around. The topic of this video is going to be about war though. Okay, so war. Why am I talking about war? Why am I talking about war? Well, I don't know. First of all, war is like a very it's a very interesting subject. War, right? War. Obviously, war. Well, what do I mean by war? Is when like two different entities come together and they kind of struggle against each other until one of them wins. War. Entity. Well, what's this entity mean? What am I getting at? What am I saying? I'm being stupid now with my words. But war. Hopefully you can actually hear my voice properly. By the way, I'm sick. I have like the flu virus. I'm sick, and it makes it harder to make videos right now. This because of the flu virus. By the way, you know the flu virus. If you ever get like something like the flu virus, it's so tough to deal with that because you can't take antibiotics. You can't do it. You can't like treat it instantly. You have to wait like a couple of weeks for it to go away on its own. It's so annoying. The flu virus. It's so annoying to deal with the flu virus. Anyway, but the topic of this video is going to be about. There's a tree. I was thinking about being next to that tree, but I don't know, maybe it might be kind of boring. Maybe it's more interesting from showing you like the fields in the back. I don't know. Regardless of all of that, the flu virus, not the flu virus, war. Oh yeah, by the way, I think I have the flu right now. Nose is running, I can't talk properly and stuff. It's very hard to make this video, but I'm just gonna keep continuing on and stuff like that and doing it anyway. But yeah, war. First of all, why am I talking about war? War is like it's so important. Right, war is so important. It like all of human history kind of does revolve around war. You might like doubt this. You might doubt what I'm talking about. War, right? Like all of our history revolves around war. What are you talking about? Carefully think about our history, right? A lot of our history is just about us killing each other, basically, right? Think about it. All the major historical events, they do relate to a war. You know, obviously in terms of recent history, you got the two big major world wars, like World War I and World War II, and then other types of wars before that, like the Napoleon War, something like this. Like literally all of our history is like revolves around wars. This goes all the way back to when we were like just in tribes and like in some like tropical environment, I don't know, where like we were just in tribes and we were like picking each other off and stuff, and like search just to like we're picking each other off and stuff just so we would survive and stuff, and we had enough food to eat, blah blah blah. This goes all the way back to when we were just like in tribes and stuff, when we were like just like hunter-gatherers. We were just killing each other so we would not starve to death. I don't know. War is so important. All of our history, all of human history revolves around war, basically, to some extent. Obviously, there are a couple other things that are important as well, but you know, war is very is up there in terms of like what our history is about. War is like super important. Basically, okay, so what is war? Obviously, there are more academic definitions. Hopefully, like if you're watching my videos, you're not like super brain dead. You do like a lot of you should have like an idea of what war is, at least some basic like understanding of warfare and stuff in war. But you know, basically war is basically when like two different maybe people, maybe nations or something similar to this kind of get together and they struggle against each other until one of them like kind of dominates the other one. War. It's like when two things come together and they struggle against each other until one of them dominates and wins. There's other types of definitions for war. There's more academic definitions. I'm just going to give you my very basic dumbed down definition of what war is. War is basically when two things come together and struggle until one of them wins and the other one dies. That's my basic dumbed down definition of war. Damn, I got a runny nose again because I have the flu virus right now. I'm sick as shit. Still, I'm making this video though. Can't be like some little lazy bitch. Look at this environment. I'm having problems like thinking about where to place myself. I was thinking about going up against that tree, or I was thinking about going over there, but I just want to show you like the fields in the back. Maybe that's more interesting. Anyway, regardless, right? But you know, war is like all of human history kind of does revolve around war. War is so important for us. Can you imagine our history without war? It's impossible. It's impossible. War is like everything, right, to us human beings, because war is like so integral to our history and stuff, and to like what we went through and stuff, and the development of our species. All of this relates to war and stuff. War is like it's so important. I wonder if I turn around like this, the light gets shown on my face. War is such a important part of our history. Anyway, but I'm kind of mumbling and kind of talking about the same things now. Okay, what are you getting at? War? Why are you talking about war? Because in my opinion, war is so important for our development, like for the development of our species. I believe war is the reason why we developed the way we did, and the reason why we became so sophisticated and stuff. This is gonna sound like, what are you talking about? War is the reason we developed as we did and we became so sophisticated. What are you talking about? War is literally the reason why we have all of the technology we do now and stuff. All of our development happened due to the fact that we were constantly getting into like wars with each other and stuff like that. The reason civilization advanced and stuff like this, and the reason we have our technology advanced, and the reason we have like such sophisticated technology now, is all because of war. I believe war it kind of forced us as a species to become more advanced and developed. Otherwise, you know, because again, what is wars? Wars when two things or two entities or two people or two nations or whatever, two different things come together and one of them struggles against the other one until one of them wins. That's war. Okay, why is this important for our history? Because war is like kind of the reason. It's the reason why our civilization became so advanced. The reason our civilization became advanced and started to develop the way it did and stuff, and the reason why our technology became so advanced, and the reason why our technology is so developed right now, it all relates to war. And I'll explain to you why. Because, you know, war basically, it forces us to improve ourselves in so many different ways. First of all, war, it incentivizes innovation, basically. Shall I tell you why? Maybe that's kind of stupid, I don't know. A lot of you be like wondering, what are you talking about now? Innovation, what do you mean? Because, you know, whoever has like the newest best technology and stuff, the newest superior technology stuff, blah blah blah, obviously they're going to win the war, obviously. So war, it just kind of it incentivizes innovation, it incentivizes advancement, basically, in so many different ways. Can you like look at like our state of like the state of our technology, like before and after the two major world wars, World War I, World War II? Like our technology, is it a coincidence that our technology, we developed more advanced forms of technology and stuff like that after the two big world wars, the two major world wars? Is that a coincidence? I think not. War kind of, it goes so deep into our history. Like literally all of the reason we became advanced as a species was because of warfare, and because of the fact that we were very violent towards each other and towards other animals and stuff like that. Look at like all the way back to our hunter-gatherer phase, blah blah blah. Humans, we had like sticks and sharp sticks to kill things with and stuff like that. That's what we used to dominate the world back then when we were just hunter-gatherers. Like literally, the reason we advanced and became so sophisticated as a species is because we were violent towards ourselves and towards other animals, and because we were constantly getting into like wars with each other and stuff. And that's kind of, you're gonna like wonder like, is this guy being serious? Like, of course I am. And you're gonna say that, oh no, that's not true. War, what do you mean? War makes us more advanced? Are you dumb? War is just gonna lead to us like killing each other and everything just going to shit and stuff. It's not gonna make us advance. I believe war is like kind of the reason why we became so sophisticated. I do believe that. Look at bonobos. They're like a close relative of chimpanzees. Bonobos are they're like more peaceful. I don't know if that's really true. Bonobos, they're like compared to chimps, they're very peaceful. I don't know, maybe that's not true. I don't know, maybe this is all this a bunch of nonsense. But bonobos, like, they're not as violent I don't know, maybe that's just BS, so I don't know. I'm not too familiar with them as a species, as a primate species, I don't know, but they're not as violent as chimps, but bonobos and even chimps and stuff, and these other, because supposedly humans, we are primates and stuff, and we're related to these other chimps and gorillas and bonobos, if you believe in the theory of evolution and stuff. Why is it that us human beings, like compared to these other primates and these other animals, why are we like so sophisticated and developed? A lot of people would say, well, it's just because, maybe if you're like religious, you'll say it's because we were like made with more special features and like a higher intellect and a bigger brain, blah blah blah. Or you believe in the theory of evolution, you might believe that we just evolved in a different way and we're here where we are now. Do you think, in my opinion, I believe war is kind of the reason us human beings, we became so sophisticated. We went to the top of the food chain, so to speak, through intense warfare. That's why I believe that other animals are kind of, but then again, people would say, well, a lot of you would say that these other animals, they constantly, they're violent. There's plenty of like violent animals, but they're not dominating the planet like we are. What's going on then? You're saying war and violence is why we're developed as a species, but why are these other violent animals and species not developed? I believe it's because there's obviously war, and violence isn't the only thing that made our species advance and develop. I'm being kind of dumb, because that's not what I'm saying. But it's not the only thing, but it is a component of like our development and stuff, and the reason why our species became so advanced. Again, yeah, I'm talking about the other animals. Yeah, most other animals are dumb and not really, they're not going anywhere. Why is that? Maybe it's not just, maybe I'm being kind of a dumbass. Maybe, violence and war isn't the only thing that causes a species to advance and develop. Maybe I'm just being a dumbass. Yeah, animals, but the other animals, they're kind of, maybe they're advanced in their own unique ways. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't really even be talking about other animals. There's videos like about us and our damn the police. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about the other animals. But okay, let's just talk about humans. Oh, okay, us human beings and stuff. Yeah, obviously war isn't the only thing that caused us to become so advanced and developed, but it's a major component to why our species developed and became advanced, blah blah blah. All of our technology, like our advanced technology and stuff, is it a coincidence that it came after the two major world wars? A lot of our history was shaped by warfare. I don't believe that's like a coincidence. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. That a lot of our technology became advanced after the two big major world wars. But maybe a lot of people would say, well, that's not, you don't need war. You don't need to go to war with people. You don't need to be violent towards each other just to get like advanced technology. We can just focus on innovation and making these advanced technologies happen on their own. I don't know. Yeah, war. But natural selection, evolution, it kind of goes back to that as well. War. I believe our entire species would not be, we wouldn't be the way we wouldn't be the way we are right now if it wasn't for some type of brutal warfare and conflicts in our past. The war, I do believe it caused our species to advance and develop in so many different ways. I'm kind of all over the place. Let me bring it back a little bit. War, what is war again? War is like when two different things basically come together and they struggle against each other until one of them dominates. That's war. And it relates to our history, obviously. Obviously, a lot of you will be like, how? Like, look at just open like a history book up. It's all just about war. All our history is just about us killing each other, basically. There's some other things and stuff, but most of our history is just about us killing each other, basically. It's kind of insane. Think about that. Like, a lot of human history is just about us killing each other. You might like disagree and stuff, but really open a history book. It's just all like any history book, any like type of history book, just open it up. It's all just about us killing each other in different ways, us trying to expand our own empires and civilizations and blah blah blah. Like all of human history is literally, a lot of it's just about us killing each other. It's just kind of very, very, very funny. War, obviously, is this bad? In my opinion, I believe war is the reason why our species developed so much. The reason why we came so far in terms of like civilization and technology building and blah 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 is because of war. Because war, I think it pushed us to the edge, and it made us like, it forced us to like, okay, it forced us to like to basically to improve ourselves, or we would just die off. and someone else would come and take our territory and resources. Basically, natural selection, evolution, it goes back to that as well. Natural selection and evolution. Now, what is natural selection? You got a bunch of different creatures, right? The creatures with the most advantageous characteristics and features, they're going to win in that environment, and they're going to dominate and stuff, and then the other creatures are going to go extinct and die. War, I believe it's super, it's so important for our history, for the development of our species. War basically, it forced us to like improve ourselves. Otherwise, someone else would come in and take our resources and territory, and we just basically get killed off. Basically, I don't know. But actually, that would happen. Look at the Mongol conquest. Let's bring it back to Genghis Khan and the Mongols. Genghis Khan, he had like he was born in Mongolia and stuff, and he had like a fat army that he was controlling and stuff, and he threw his army around and stuff, and he was getting out of Mongolia, and he was going into the Middle East and Eastern Europe and taking territory and stuff. The people in the people that were conquered by the Mongols, they were, a lot of them were like killed off and slaughtered and displaced and sort of made nearly extinct. That's kind of insane. It's really insane to think about. Like Genghis Khan, like not just him, obviously, like all of human, like it's not just Genghis Khan, all of these like conquerors, like, well, what did these conquerors, these great conquerors, Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Cyrus the Great, all these other conquerors, these great conquerors, why, great conquerors, like they literally, these people were just going around killing other human beings, and we call them great. It's kind of weird. All of these guys, like they kind of illustrate like natural selection perfectly, right? And like what I'm talking about, like you got two different like things coming to, like what is war? War is when two things come together and one of them struggles against the other one until the other one dominates, or the other one dominates, one of them dominates, has to dominate. That's why, that's why I'm saying that war, it forces us to improve ourselves. Like Genghis Khan and the Mongols, all the like the Great Wall of China, that was kind of, was that built in response to the Mongols? I don't know, I'm not too sure about that, but it forced the Chinese. The Mongols forced the Chinese to improve their technology and stuff like that, and to kind of so that they don't get subjugated by the Mongols again. Yeah, that's very important. What was I getting at? Oh yeah. The Mongols forced the Chinese to like improve their infrastructure and stuff. Otherwise, they would just continually get wrecked by the Mongols and get killed off and stuff, and their territory and resources would get taken away by the Mongols. The Mongols forced the Chinese, okay, we need to do something about these freaking Mongolians that keep coming to our territory and stealing our resources and wrecking our shit. And that forced the Chinese to, okay, we need to build better infrastructure, get better, more sophisticated weapons built to push these damn Mongolians out. That's so important. It sounds like a joke. It sounds like I'm being stupid and just joking around. No, but war is literally, it's the reason why we developed as a species to such an extent. Like the reason civilization came so far, the reason our technology became so sophisticated was because of war. Any major empire it developed because of warfare. Like all of our empires, the Mongol Empire, any other type of empire. Obviously there's a bunch of other empires. The Roman Empire, what were the Romans doing? They were marching around Europe and conquering territory for themselves. That's what they were doing. Like literally every single part of every like significant part of our history is related to warfare. So once you understand this, you'll kind of connect a lot of the dots I'm trying to like lay out for you right here in this video. War is super important. I believe war forces us to improve ourselves. It does force us to improve ourselves. Again, bring it back to the Genghis Khan and the Mongols. The Mongols were fucking wrecking other people's shit. I'm telling you, they were going into other people's territories and homes and houses and breaking shit apart and wrecking shit. The Mongols and the Chinese, man, you should read about what the Mongols did to the Chinese, man. It's horrific. And that kind of forced the Chinese, okay, we need to get our shit together and we need to improve like our infrastructure and the state of our technology so we can push these damn Mongolians away and stuff. And that's war. That's why war is so important. It forces the human being to like improve himself or herself or itself. It forces the human being to improve itself so it doesn't die off. So we don't get like replaced by someone else. That's so important. War is so significant for our history. I mean, can you imagine human history without war? It's impossible. It's literally impossible to imagine our history without warfare. I'm trying to see where I should place myself. All of our history is so intimately linked and related to war. All of our history is so intimately linked and related to war. It's kind of, a lot of you are probably gonna like have your own doubts about this. I don't know. a lot of our history is so intimately linked and related to like war and stuff like that. It's so important, like war for our history and stuff. It's all like, it all links to like it's so intimately linked to our history. It's kind of insane. War and stuff like that, so intimately linked to our history. Human histories would be so different without war. It would be so different without war. I believe we'll just be we'll be like if you believe in the theory of evolution and stuff in Darwinism, blah blah blah, I believe we'll just be like the other primates, like these chimps and bonobos and gorillas. We'll just be like them if we weren't going to war with each other all the time. I'm telling you, war forced us to improve ourselves. Otherwise we'd get dominated by someone else that's more strategic, more brighter in so many other ways, has better technology and stuff. I don't know. War is so important. Look, is it a coincidence that all of our like technologies, like all of our advanced technology, it came after the two big major world wars? Is that a coincidence? I don't believe so. I believe war caused us to, it forces the human being to improve himself. Otherwise someone else comes and takes your resources and territory, and you sort of get you like natural selection relates to that as well. You just basically die out and get replaced and stuff and get extinct. War. Why is it that us, I mean, if you believe in the theory of evolution and that we're related to these other primates like chimps and bonobos and stuff, why is it that we're like so far ahead of these other primates and stuff? Is it just because we're special and we're different, or is it because of war? I don't know. But people would say, well, chimps go to war and stuff. Gorillas are violent. Bonobos are, I don't know about them. So it can't just be only war. I don't know. Maybe obviously there are other things that cause us to like advance as a species. There's other reasons why us human beings were above other animals in terms of civilization and technology building and blah blah blah. But of course, I believe war is such an important part as to why we became so advanced and sophisticated. War. What is war again? Two things come together and they struggle against each other until one of the things dominates the other one and stuff. War, so important. Imagine human history without war. It's so impossible. It's literally impossible. The reason, look at our hands, man. If you believe in the theory of evolution, we were hunter-gatherers. That's why our hands became the way they did, because we had to like build tools. Well, most like the hunter-gatherers, all the tools that they were making were to kill other things and other people and other animals. Even at the beginning of our history, like if you believe in the theory of evolution, something that we were like hunter-gatherers and we were developing from Homo erectus and stuff, and we came from the lesser primates and we gradually turned into human beings. Like look at the development of our hand. It's all of our like the bone structure, everything. It's all because like the hunter gatherers of our ancestry, like our ancestors were hunter gatherers, blah blah blah. And they were building tools and stuff, and the tools that they were building, what were they building? They weren't making like hippie signs and stuff. These hunter gatherer ancestors, they were like crafting like weapons to kill other human beings and other animals and stuff. Like all of our history is all linked to war, man. Without war, we would not be where we are now today. It's not a coincidence that the two major world wars, or all of our technology, like advanced tech and stuff, it came after the two big second major world wars. What am I talking about? After the two major world wars. Being stupid with my words. Sorry, it's just because I'm sick. I got the flu virus and stuff. It's hard to talk, man. I still want to make a video though. I don't want it to be some lazy cunt doesn't get out and doesn't do anything. I have to make this video. But war is so important. All of look at like the hunter gatherers of our history. Like look at like hunter gatherers. Like they were like look at like the structure of our hands are the reason why our hands developed like this is because our ancestors were they were forced to like craft weapons to kill each other and other human beings and other animals, otherwise they would die. Violence and war is so important for us human beings. It's all linked to our history. It's insane. You cannot imagine human history without war. It's literally impossible. Human history is like it all revolves around war. War is the reason why we developed the way we did as a species. The reason we came so far, and the reason where we became ahead of like all the other animals and stuff like that. War is so important. two civilizations. They were like, in the medieval period, there was like a bunch of different civilizations that were at each other's throats. The Ottoman Empire. I was talking about Genghis Khan and the Mongols, the Turks, which are closely related to these types of people. Turks and Mongols, they come from like the same type of territory and location. They come from the same places, and they're very closely linked. I don't know, maybe I might be wrong about that. Maybe a lot of Turks and Mongols might be getting angry at me. But Genghis Khan, Mongols, they pushed the Turks. I don't know if it was specifically the Mongols and the Genghis Khan that made the Turks that kind of migrate to Anatolia, blah blah blah. But the Ottoman Empire was like obviously it was like a very big empire during the Middle Ages, medieval period. The Ottoman empires, the Ottoman Turks, blah blah blah. They were trying to basically conquer Europe and blah blah blah. They were in the Balkans and stuff, and they were like dominating that territory and stuff, controlling land. They were basically trying to expand themselves into Europe and stuff, and the other European countries and stuff. They were like resisting the Ottomans and stuff, and they wanted to like push the Ottomans out. There you on it. They want the other European nations during this time. The other European nations during the Ottoman Empire wanted the Ottomans to just go away, but the Ottomans they wanted to go into Europe, and they wanted to take over everything in Europe and stuff. And this forced the Europeans to kind of okay, we need to we need to figure shit out, and we need to put our resources on the right things, and we need to kick these Ottoman Turks out of Europe and stuff once and for all, and blah blah blah. And there was a lot of bloody wars. The Ottomans, they had a lot of bloody wars with Russia and Austria and these other types of European countries and nations and stuff. It kind of demonstrates it, right? Because the medieval period was kind of so bloody. It was like a bunch of different civilizations that were at each other's throats, and they were trying to take each other's resources and land and territory. Obviously the Ottoman Empire, they're like a good example to use. You can just kind of look at, because the Ottomans wanted to take Europe basically, I don't know, but the European nations were struggling against them and stuff and tried to force them out. The Ottomans had they had a lot of bloody wars with Russia and Austria. You can just look up the history of the Ottoman Empire. It's just fucking very bloody. But the Ottomans, they demonstrate what I'm talking about perfectly. War. The Ottomans were forcing these other European nations to kind of to be more strategic, to think more intellectually. Otherwise, the Ottomans would come and conquer them and take their territory and resources, and they would get replaced by a civilization that's more geared towards war. That's more, I guess, I don't know if that makes this civilization more sophisticated. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being dumb, but look at the medieval period. It's so important. Human history, obviously, it's not just the medieval period. All of our history revolves around war. It's very weird, because now it's very. But even now, look at what Russia's doing to Ukraine and stuff. It's still there's still wars going on around the world right now. And in this year, 2023, still wars going on, stuff like that. The war hasn't become irrelevant. War is still happening right now. War. I remember, I don't know if it was Fallout 4, war never changes, because it's so true. War never changes, that's so true. Because the principle of war has, we've been going to war for, literally most of our history. It's so insane. Every part of human history, all the significant parts of our history, it's all about war. You might disagree, you might say, no, we're peaceful. No, we're not, don't be dumb. All of our history is about war and us killing each other. That's so true. That's facts. You cannot be some type of dumbass and disagree. Oh, yeah, I was talking about the Ottoman Empire. But obviously it's not just them. All these other empires as well. All of these major empires that were in our history, they were just all these empires. What is an empire? Empire is just a bunch of people trying to go around and conquer territory so they can expand their own civilization. That's what an empire is. Not just the Ottomans, the other empires, the Romans, Mongols. They were just trying to conquer other people and put them in and put them into their empire, or to kill them and take their territory and resources. Man, our history is so bloody. Sorry, I have the flu virus. That's why it's so hard for me to talk properly. That's why I might be mumbling with my words and being kind of dumb. Man, the flu virus, by the way, is so annoying. Disease is also a very important part of the human history, right? Man, disease, the Black Death, that had a massive domino effect. Disease as well, that's another reason why our species became so advanced. We have to resist these illnesses, otherwise we would die off and stuff. well, natural selection, evolution, it kind of goes back to that as well. Evolution, I mean, obviously natural selection, you don't need to believe that we all come from monkeys and we all like, if you can still be religious, be a Christian, Muslim, Jew, and believe in like the theory of evolution and natural selection. You don't need to believe that we come from monkeys, but natural selection, the concept of natural selection is facts. Like, you got a bunch of creatures, the creatures with the most advantageous characteristics and features, they're going to dominate that environment. You don't need to like believe that we come from monkeys and stuff. You can still be a Christian, Muslim, Jew, but natural selection, the concept of it is so true, that the creatures with the most advantageous characteristics and features, the creatures that have like the best, that are like more, they're just more equipped to dominate the other creatures in their environment. They're going to win, man. War never changes. Fallout 4. Funny, man. It's so true though. I don't know if it was Fallout 4 or some other I know it's about Fallout 4. That was a great game, by the way. I don't want to mention it right now. War, man. War. Human history is all about war. You cannot, like, literally, our history is unimaginable without war. Like, every part of our history it all is related to warfare. It's all linked to us, like getting together and killing. It's all about just us killing each other, basically. I'm being stupid with my words because I got the flu virus in me and stuff. It's fucking annoying. Like, all of our history is just about us killing each other, and I believe that's the reason why we became so advanced, and that's the reason why we have all the technology that we have now. Obviously, this sounds very crude and stupid. The reason we're advanced and the reason why we have our technology and stuff is because we were killing each other. What are you getting at? Are you being stupid? Are you being edgy? No. Well, why did if you believe in the theory of evolution, look at our hands, man. Hunter-gatherers were, the reason our hands are like this is because the hunter-gatherers of our ancestors, like the hunter-gatherers in our lineage, blah, blah, they had to like build up tools to kill other human beings and animals so they wouldn't die and get replaced and killed by other people and things. And all of our history is all so violent and bloody. It's fucking all about war and us killing each other. It's so stupid to me that people kind of they try to say that we're like peaceful and stuff. It's just humans were naturally peaceful. It's just we just get forced to become aggressive and violent. No, we're naturally violent and ruthless. War is like a part of our history. Can you imagine our history without war? It's literally unimaginable. Our history is literally unimaginable without warfare. War is so important. It's so important for the human being and for our history and stuff, and for our development as a species. War and violence, it all links to our history. Look at like a lot of more peaceful societies. Look at Europe. Compare Europe to India. Europe was fucking. Europe has a very bloody history. Europeans have been killing each other for who knows how long. Europe, like, the history of Europe is so bloody and dark and insane. Compare Europe to India. India is like a lot more peaceful, but India doesn't have any advanced, a lot of our advanced technology came from Europe, and I believe this is not a coincidence, because Europe has a very bloody history. Europe has been going to war with itself for like cajillions of years. Compare Europe to India. India is a very peaceful, has been somewhat peaceful. Obviously, there were invasions by other groups of people that tried to take over India and to conquer India and to take its territory and stuff. But India, compare Europe to India. India is like so. It wasn't advancing. Why is it that India, like, our technology doesn't come from India, it comes from Europe? Why is it that a lot of our major technological innovations and stuff like that, it came from Europe and not India? What is the major reason for this? I believe war is like a big part of this, because a lot of India's history, obviously there were invasions and stuff like this by other groups of people, but India was somewhat peaceful. Obviously there were some wars and violence going on, but obviously somewhat peaceful compared to Europe. Europe, compared to like the rest of the world, was super bloody. There's actually like on YouTube there's like a video, and it shows you like all the wars that were happening in Europe. It's so insane. Like, Europe has such a bloody history, and that's the reason why a lot of our technological innovations and advancements and stuff and inventions come from Europe. Is that a coincidence that Europe has the most bloodiest history? But Europe, all of our technology and stuff, like all of our advanced infrastructure, comes to some extent from Europe. Obviously you might like disagree, you might be some other type of person, some minority or something like that, or some person from a different, like you might be some other type of person. You might say, oh no, why are you saying, well, Europe, well, why are you saying that all our technology comes from Europe? Why are you getting at that? No, obviously there's some borrowings and stuff from other cultures and civilizations, but a lot of our tech I'm talking about a lot of our technology and stuff, a lot of the inventions that we have now, it was coming from Europe for the most part. To some extent, obviously, other parts of the world were contributing as well, obviously, but just compare Europe to India for a second. Why is it that India has no, well, it doesn't have any, like a lot of, there's no, like, new technologies that were, like, coming out of India. It was all just coming, a lot of our new technologies were coming out of Europe. I believe the reason why is because, Europe has been Europe has been going to war with itself for a long time, and that was pushing, like, the people in Europe to create new technologies, otherwise they would get dominated and killed off by other people and stuff. Europe, man. Obviously, a lot of you might disagree. It's I don't know, it's a flu virus, man. It's so hard to make this video, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This should really really motivate you guys as well to to do things even if you feel sick and down and stuff, blah blah blah. In Europe compared to India, all our tech, obviously to some extent there was like some other cultures and civilizations. We're borrowing things from each other. Obviously, I'm not just saying that, oh, everything we have now is from Europe. No, I'm not saying that. But a lot of our, like, technological inventions and innovations and stuff like this was coming from Europe, not from India and stuff. Why is that? Is it? I believe war is kind of very important, because if you analyze European history, it's like, it's so bloody. It's so bloody, but it's so bloody. But I believe that's the reason why, like, Europe became so advanced compared to, like, a lot of the other parts of the world. Obviously, it's not just because of it's not just because, like, war and violence and stuff like that. Obviously, there's other things, but war and violence is so important. Compare Europe to India. India has, like, hasn't really did anything for the world for a long time. Obviously, some philosophy was getting invented and the Hindu-Arabic numeral system and stuff. But there were, like, new technologies, like, and stuff like that was coming from Europe for a reason, because Europe was constantly at war with itself. Europe was forcing itself to evolve and advance through warfare and violence and stuff. That's why a lot of our technology has been coming from Europe and not other parts of the world. Maybe I'm being kind of dumb. Maybe this is just me being stupid. Can you imagine human history without war? It's unimaginable. War is so important for us. I believe it's the reason why we came so far in terms of civilization, in terms of other forms of development. It's because of war. War is super important. You cannot underestimate or understate the importance of war and violence for the development of our species. Even during all the way back to the hunter-gatherer phase of our ancestors, the hunter-gatherer period of our ancestors, the period where we were hunter-gatherers. Like, look at our hands. The reason we have these types of hands is because our ancestors were, like, literally building tools to kill each other and to kill other animals, so we would not starve to death or die or get killed off by someone or something. War is so important. Human history is unimaginable without war. I believe we would not come where we are today if it wasn't for war and violence and stuff, which sounds kind of ridiculous. It sounds so obscene and stupid, and it sounds like I'm just being kind of ignorant and dumb and just kind of but kind of like a dickhead, but and maybe I'm just being very edgy, but war and violence is the reason why our species became so advanced and developed. War and violence is the reason why we have the technology we have now. It's not a coincidence that all of our, like, technology came after the two major world wars that were happening, right? World War I and World War II, these types of wars. Not a coincidence. Obviously, there's other things related to why our species has advanced and became developed. Obviously, but I believe war and violence is super important, man. Without war and violence, we would just be like fucking we'd be like fucking no, we would be like fucking we would be like fucking no, like bonobos and stuff, like them. We'll be like these, look like bonobos. They're like chimps. They're like smaller miniature versions of chimps. They're very effeminate and stuff. Go on to YouTube and type in bonobos documentary. How would you spell bonobo, by the way? Bonobo. 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 Bonobos. Us human beings, we would be like bonobos. These little miniature, more gay versions of chimps and gorillas and stuff. We would be like these bonobo type animals. We would not have any type of civilization. We would not be advancing. Wait. Okay. Cover your nose. We would be like bonobos. We would not be where we are today. We would not have any type of technology. Bonobos. Damn, my GoPro Hero 9, the battery kind of died down. The battery turned off, I don't know, because the battery was too low. There wasn't enough charge in the GoPro and it turned off. Anyway, blah blah blah. That's not important. Bonobos, by the way, I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Bonobos. See that? Bonobo, little chimp. Bonobo. Yeah, bonobos, basically they're gay versions of chimps. They're like miniature chimps. We would have, like us human beings, we would have been like bonobos if it wasn't for war. War is so important for our history and the development of our species. Look at this book. I got National Geographic's Visual History of the World. And if you kind of open it up, the Roman Augustus the First, Roman Emperor, Napoleon, all these emperors and conquerors, they were using violence to do their thing, to expand their empires and stuff like that. All these conquerors and emperors and stuff. War, obviously. Look, the Nazis, SS, the Bolshevik, all these different get all of that. All of our history is just about war and us killing each other. I have this National Geographic book. It's all about war. It's all just about war. There we go. Look at that. Hunter gatherers killing a woolly mammoth. All our history is just about war and violence. Look at that. Fish bone carving. All our tools, everything's just about war and us killing each other. The evolutionary process. Notice how he has like that stick, pointy stick to kill other human beings and people with. All just about war. There's hunter-gatherers, look, using violence to kill their things. All just about war. Every part of our history is just about war. It's kind of insane once you think about that. Look, hunter-gatherer with some stick. There's empires. All just about war. Yeah. It's all about war. Even the Bible, and I'm like, the Bible's fucking, everything's just about war. Even if you read the Bible, look, police car. Yeah, like everything about us is just about war and stuff. War and violence, that's all a part of our history. You can't deny it. You cannot deny it. It's all a part of our history. War and violence, it's all a part of our history. You can't deny that. It's insane. All these empires and conquerors, it was just all about war and violence. It's all about, that's all, like all our history is just about war and violence. That's so important for the development of our species. It's so like linked to everything important in our history. It's of war and violence. war never changes. War is like such an important part of human history. War and violence, literally, it's like such an important part of our for our history and for the development of our species. War never changes.